The St. Brigid's Day, or the so-called Imbolc, is celebrated on the 1st of February, marking the beginning of spring in Ireland. However, the customs and legends concerning St. Brigid are rather associated with the eve of her festival, the 31st of January. The 1st of February marks the beginning of the farmer's year, thus the festival itself is connected with fertility. Furthermore, Brigid is also the patroness of color and dairy work. The farmers hoped for the good weather to come by this time of the year and turned a sod in a tillage field in anticipation of the spring season. The St. Brigid's Day was a day of stock-taking in household and farmyard. However, certain kind of work, such as carding, milling, and spinning, was strictly prohibited on the day. It was believed that on the eve of St. Brigid's festival, the saint traveled throughout the country blessing the people and their livestock. There have been many traditions attached to this belief of Brigid passing around the country. For instance, people left cakes or pieces of bread and butter on the windowsill to indicate that Brigid was welcomed in the house. Brigid was thought to be accompanied by a white cow on her journey, and therefore a sheaf of corn was left for the cow as refreshment. The main symbol associated with the festival of Brigid is the St. Brigid's cross, also called cloche bretée or bois bretée. The cross was usually hung up in the house, the byre, or the stables to honor the saint and gain a protection for the whole household and the livestock. There are several regional variations of the St. Brigid's cross. The one we made during the tutorial is a format used mainly in Ulster, Leinster, and in a few places in Connaught and Munster. Made mostly of rushes, though the straw versions are also fairly known, this particular cross is made by doubling rushes over each other to form an overlapping cross. The simplest form of the cross is only made of 4 rushes, but more skillful makers usually add more rushes to make the cross look more robust. The horizontal rush is tied around the vertical one, the next vertical rush is looped around the horizontal, and afterwards by the next horizontal reed loop around both vertical reeds. A vertical reed is then tied around both horizontal reeds, and finally a horizontal reed is bent around both vertical reeds going down. The structure itself is now fixed, and the process is repeated for several times until the bunch of projecting rushes form an irregular cross. The projecting rushes are tied together and trimmed with sisal to make them seem pointed.
The most usual type of St. Brigid's cross is the diamond or lozenge of straw. 2 pieces of twig or wood slips are fastened to resemble a cross, and then straw is carefully woven around them to form a neat lozenge. Straw is much more common in making these crosses than rushes. This particular type also has many other, more elaborate variations to it. The most elaborate crosses of this type could be made of as many as 24 or 30 lozenges. This format is most well known in Connaught and Munster, and in counties Donegal, Monaghan and Armagh in Ulster. The third type of the St. Brigid's cross, which is not as common as any of the 2 types mentioned before, is made in a number of separated places in Connaught, Munster and Ulster, and was frequent in Sligo, Leitrim and South Donegal. The cross was made by weaving a number of strands of rushes or straw in a crisscross pattern, tying each of the 4 projecting ends together to form a cross. It was usually made as an additional cross to those described before to be hung in the stable. The Brigid and Brigid. Apart from making of the crosses, there are several interesting customs underlying the celebrations of the St. Brigid's Day. A popular practice held in many counties across Ireland involves a Brigid, a piece of any unwashed cloth in the house. This was taken out on the eve of the festival and placed on a bush. As St. Brigid came across the house, it was believed that she had stopped by to bless the cloth. It was then taken back to the house, torn in pieces, and a piece was given to every female in the house. They believed it would grant them all the St. Brigid's protection. Furthermore, the cloth was believed to acquire curative properties and was used as a treatment for various illnesses by tying it around the aching place. The eve of the feast, a Brigid procession of people goes from house to house to announce Brigid's arrival. Young people dress up for the occasion, however the custom also differs regionally. Either boys dress in girls' clothes or vice versa. The Brigid group might be strictly female or strictly male. However, it usually consists of people not older than 20 years of age. Most likely they'd be carrying symbols of the saint, an effigy supposed to represent Brigid's blessings. It could be a doll representing the figure of the saint or the Saint Brigid's cross. There are certainly many other customs taking place on the eve of Saint Brigid's Day. All the traditions described in this documentary clip differ regionally, thus the types described might not correspond with every given region in Ireland. There are definitely many opportunities for further reading, as the festival is thoroughly researched and is definitely an event not to be missed.